Well, hello. So I want to ask you a question. Are you a late bloomer? Did it take you till after your 40s to really get going? Well, on today's show, we're going to talk about that and much, much more. So stick around for this episode of Love My Body, Love Myself. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Love My Body, Love Myself. I'm your host, Alicia Couri, and I am super excited to share with you all today my amazing guest. So she's brand new to me, so I'm going to learn as much as you're going to learn all at the same time, and I'm excited for that. So, first of all, welcome to those of you who are watching on Facebook. Thank you for joining us. If you're watching from the Facebook group, I really appreciate you tuning in. Just if you're commenting from the group, make sure to leave your name at the end of the comment so we know who you are and we know how to interact with you. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us on YouTube. Also, our LinkedIn viewers, thank you for tuning in on LinkedIn. And I see we have some issues with Twitch today. So if it's running on Twitch, welcome. If you can't see me on Twitch, I apologize. But if you are on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. And if you haven't yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, after the show, not during the show, after the show, wherever you're watching, continue to watch. But go on over to YouTube. It's youtube.com/c/Alicia Couri and just hit that subscribe button for us, please, because we would love to have you interact with us. We got tons and tons of content there that is there to inspire you, influence you, educate you, and motivate you, and also entertain you. So go on over to our YouTube channel. I mentioned the Facebook group. If you're not a member of the Facebook group, you can go on over to facebook.com/groups/LMBLM. And I just want to let you know that this show is sponsored by uh, Audacious Concepts Inc. and FAMU Mary. And it's also produced by Red Carpet CEO. So FAMU Mary is all about education because FAMU is an educational institute. So FAMU Mary has a program on helping you understand the legal and lawful use of medical marijuana, how to use it, how to get it, where to get it. And so I would encourage you that if that is something that you're wanting to know more about, to go to Mary, MERI.famu.edu to get more information. And we'll tell you a little bit more about that later on in the show. So please leave a comment if you find any of this information valuable. We're here live, so we want to interact with you. And if you're watching on replay, I welcome you as well. Thank you so much. You can still leave a comment if you're on replay because we go back and we look at the comments and we interact with those comments. So wherever you are, you can leave a comment for us. So now I don't want to delay anymore because I'm really excited to bring on Annie Gaudreault. So she is a health and fitness specialist. And so she was awkward. She said she was awkward growing up and didn't really bloom until after her 40s. So I am so excited to hear her story and hear all the wonderful things that she did after turning 40. So welcome to the show, Annie.
Thank you, Alicia. It's amazing to be here. Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you for reaching out. I always say if you want to be a guest on the show, go ahead and email us, support@aliciacouri.com. And you reached out to us. You said, I want to be on the show. I want to be a guest. And here you are.
Yay.
So tell me your story. Tell me, let's go back because you said you were an awkward teenager. So let's go back and tell me a little bit about your story.
Oh my God, I was awkward for a long time. I grew up in an environment where I had a parent who had bipolar disorder.
Mm,
It was a very, very chaotic environment. And what
wow.
you learn later on in life is when you grow up in a unit like this, when this is your first exposure to the world,
Mm,
you are basically in survival mode because
um,
you are in an environment of crisis.
yeah.
So what you're doing is you're protecting yourself. And when we say awkward, a lot of people feel that that's terrible to say, but it
Mm,
actually just means you just don't know your way of being in the world. I
mm.
had no
Oh, that is
idea.
powerful. That is powerful because, like you said, it's we have to like release sometimes the judgment of certain things. So you said you were awkward. That doesn't necessarily mean it was a bad thing. It's just that you were trying to find your own way in the world. So I love that.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Yes. So
Yeah.
over the years, and it took a long, long time, in my 20s, I was still not realizing it, but kind of this woman who basically was trying to find out who she was,
Hmm.
and the escape was work. So not unlike many people, the
Hmm.
workaholic life became the way of being. It was like, this is my answer to basically filling all those holes that are missing
Mm,
in me, right?
yeah.
And honestly, you don't even know that you have that. But I spent my 20s and a lot of my 30s in that pattern.
Right. On the hamster wheel. On the
Yes,
hamster wheel. On the grind. Hmm.
yes. And spending no time to truly understand what had happened to me or to my siblings, and not really understanding how I could repair those scars. So
Mm.
unfortunately, what happens when you're like that is that you destroy relationships
Because I was
because
going to ask you that. As you said that, I was going to ask, what about the feeling and the emotions? Were you like just burying them? Were you just, ignoring them?
all of the above. um, when you are in an escape mode,
Hmm.
you basically, what resists persists. So you push it down and comes back up, and then you push it down further and it comes back up. So you go through relationships like a tank,
Oh, wow.
and it is not positive, and you don't foster and nurture beautiful relationships because you've never learned to have a proper relationship with yourself.
Oh. Oh. Yes,
And
that is
that's
true.
it,
And
right?
I think that's something that we really need to teach children, how to have a relationship with themselves, a positive relationship with themselves, and through adolescence, because so many times they're seeking outward validation, seeking someone else to love them, seeking someone else to say that they're okay, um, and that's why we end up being bloomers. We end up being in our 40s and realizing, wait a second, I I spent all this time trying to get validated from all these other people when all I really needed to do was really love me and love myself, and that would have been enough. Oh,
Absolutely.
oh,
Absolutely. So you're seeking validation, yet you have no idea who you are. The
mhm,
name of your show is, Love My Body, Love Myself. There is no loving myself at all going on. And you
mm,
think that all of this is supposed to come from others, right? Like you're
mhm,
trying to fill that void over and over. So it was a long time on that wheel,
yeah,
going literally nowhere.
right.
And the other part of it is you're seeking all these approvals, but you're also very superficial
Hmm.
because you're all about keeping that veneer, nice and beautiful, because God forbid anybody knew
Anybody sees, yeah.
what's going on inside. Yuck.
Oh, oh, oh. That's, it's
Exactly.
so true. It's so true. And I was listening to one of my mentors this morning, and he's talking about the damaging effects of guilt and shame,
Mhm.
because it's not something that we were born with. It's something that we learned. It's something that was not even what we learned. It was put upon us as children. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be, so we learn shame from the authority figures in our life, and then we take over that voice, and we keep hiding things because we have that shame and we have that guilt, and all it does is magnify the guilt
Oh,
and shame, so that we try to hide and sneak and do things, but then it's in secret, and then it eats away at us even more, and it becomes, again, that perpetual cycle of destruction inside of us. Ah,
I think you nailed it with destruction. It's exactly what happens.
yeah.
That's exactly what happens
Mhm.
until it breaks.
Mhm.
Because for anybody listening or listening on the replay, it's not if, it's when.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's gonna be when. Yep, because you can only stuff it down so much. You can only stuff it so much. And the thing is, you have a trash can, and when you put garbage in it and it fills up to the top, and you push it down and to fill more garbage in it, and you put more garbage, but eventually it is going to fill up. No matter how much you try to push it down anymore, there's nowhere to push it down, and then it erupts. And a lot of times that eruption is not pretty. There's a breakdown, there's burnout, there's all kinds of emotional stuff that happens. So we need to stop that. Um, and that's why I think we have such a crisis of mental health right now, because everybody keeps stuffing their emotions, stuffing their problems, stuffing everything down, because I'm supposed to be okay, I'm supposed to be happy, I'm supposed to behave a certain way, instead of learning how to love ourselves through the process. Oh, okay,
Yes.
Annie. you, you're like, we're like digging deep today.
Yes, we are.
Digging deep. Woo. So, and we've only gone through 10 minutes here. I mean, probably 6 minutes of this interview, and we've gone deep. Um, so where did you go from there? Like, stuffing it in, bad relationships, all of that stuff. What was your aha moment?
There were many circumstances that all basically made it the perfect storm
Mm,
for this has got to stop. So
okay.
I was in a relationship where all my eggs were literally in one basket. So I had running a company with my partner, relationship of 13 years. There had been some signs that things were breaking down at my point, at my end, but we always used to kind of blame my, childhood quotation mark,
Mm,
and it was kind of the excuse. I was
mhm.
still taking no responsibility for the fact that I needed to
Get
heal, and
healthy. You need to get
exactly,
healthy.
exactly, and and suddenly 40 was looming, and it was coming very close. And there had been, an event with some friends, and I realized, oh my God, I need to get out. We were engaged, and there was going to be a wedding, and imminently, and I thought, I just can't. I
Mm,
have pushed this so far, and this illusion that everything is fine, and try to hold on to this relationship because I think I'm broken and I think I'm not right. And that was that. It just erupted,
mm.
and
Wow.
everything broke. So the relationship,
The
the
business.
business, it was a nightmare. But you need to get to that level of pain for you to think this the solution is less painful than the current situation that I am in.
Mm,
Right? Because the discomfort is going to be real
yeah.
as I move through, the crisis. However, it was truly my rock bottom. I thought, I'm so tired of lying to myself and lying to everybody. I need to do something here.
And that's the thing. We're lying to ourselves because
Oh,
we keep trying to keep the ball afloat, keep everything, keep all the balls in the air. And it's like, wait a second, I'm not a juggler. It's like, I don't know how to
yes,
juggle. And then you realize, and then all the balls come crashing down. It's like, oh, right, I don't know how to juggle. Oh my
exactly.
goodness.
And I
Yeah.
think a lot of people will relate with the fact that we have a tendency to want to be pleasing, right?
Hmm.
I'm sure there's a lot of pleasers out there, right? And not only was I trying to please, but I'm not even pleasing myself because I have no self-awareness. I
Right.
am this 30 something woman who is still clueless about who she is.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm so in the dark, it's not funny. Completely
Wow.
blind, completely
Yeah.
blind. And
Yeah. So many
that's,
of us do that, walk around completely blind and telling ourselves it's going to be okay. Everything, just stay on course. The old adage that insanity is doing the same things, expecting different results. And that's what we do. We
yes.
blind ourselves and do the same thing every day in, day out, and expect that somehow magically, as my coach says, magical thinking, it's going to change. And it never does.
Oh, yeah.
And then the realization finally hits you, it's never going to change unless I change. And I think
Yes.
on that, we're going to take a break because I think that's a great place to take a break. We will be right back. This is fascinating. I love this conversation. So we will be right back with more with Annie Gaudreault. Did I say that right? Yay!
Perfect.
The Love My Body, Love Myself show is produced by Red Carpet CEO and brought to you by Audacious Concepts Inc. Audacious Concepts Inc. is a boutique consulting firm that specializes in providing audacious solutions to your nagging and persistent people issues clogging your revenue pipeline. For more information, visit audaciousconceptsinc.com. If you'd like a copy of Age with Audacious Confidence with 21 plus tips on how you can look and feel younger, go to our link tree at linktr.ee/A Couri and get your copy. Now here's a word from our other sponsors.
Are you curious about marijuana? Florida A&M University established the Medical Marijuana Education and Research Initiative, also known as MARY, to educate the public about medical marijuana use as well as the detrimental health and social impacts of unlawful marijuana use on local communities. Empower yourself with knowledge. Find out more at mmeri.famu.edu. mmeri.famu.edu. MARY. Educate, learn, talk.
Welcome back to this episode of Love My Body, Love Myself. I'm your host, Alicia Couri, and our guest today is Annie Gaudreault, all the way from Toronto. So, Annie, we kind of left off this conversation. Oh, it was. Listen, if you missed the first half of this conversation, you're just joining us. Go back and watch the beginning of this because it was phenomenal. Um, so we left off talking about your breaking point. Like you reached that point, everything crashed. You realized you can't get married to this person. The business broke up. You broke up. Everything fell apart and you were almost 40. So, like, 40 was looming. So, what were some of the things that you knew needed to change with you?
Well, this is the part that I think is really interesting because while you're broken, you have no idea that it can be even repaired.
Mm,
I, at that point, did not even have that faith. However, I recall this moment sitting with a therapist and telling her, while she asked that question, why are you sitting in that chair? And I said, I am in this crossroad and I can continue
hmm
what I've been doing, but all I know that is going to lead more of is really not great. It's the shit path.
Right.
And I know that there's got to be something good in me, and I'm not sure what that is yet. I don't know where this road is going to lead me. It scares the bejesus out of me.
Right. Right.
But
Because it's totally unknown. And
but
we're
that other
creatures
road
of
isn't
safety.
bad.
Right. You
Exactly.
already know what that's given you.
Yes.
And we're creatures that desire safety, but
Yes.
we don't even know what safety means. Safety is an illusion, right? It's like safety is an illusion. So you want to choose the path where you can make your own decisions, make your own choices, and make it what you want it to be. And that's what led you to your late blooming, I guess. We can call
Yes.
it that. So let's talk about late bloomers, because usually when we talk about late bloomers, we talk about, oh, well, you hit puberty late. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about late blooming in when you finally wake up and you finally say, enough is enough. I'm going to live my life on my terms, and I'm going to do the things that uh, light my soul on fire. Right?
Totally. And I don't think I was that articulate at the time, but I
Right.
remember thinking there's got to be a better way.
Hmm.
And I see it around me, and I see it on some women around me, and therefore I'm sure that it's possible for me, even a little bit of that light. It might not be shining like the sun yet, but
Yeah.
it's got to be shining a little bit. Right?
Oh my goodness. Yes. Yes. Because um, we have these blind spots that we don't see when we're in a certain situation until we decide to get out of it. Then our eyes open up to other opportunities. The opportunity was around you all the time, but you couldn't see it because you were so mired in your own pain. Like, I can't see the forest for the trees. I can't see any opportunity for me anywhere else. But
Totally.
once you make that decision to do something differently, opportunity, boop, I
Yes.
was here all the time.
And when you start listening, because Alyssa, the problem is that I never listened. I
Mm,
buried myself in this busyness and this work thing, and I'm not listening at all.
mm,
But when I started to listen, I went, "Oh my God, these messages have been coming." I just, decided not to listen. So
mhm.
it's a big thing now in my life to
Spend
stop
time.
and listen. Ask.
Mhm,
Maybe there will be an answer. Maybe there'll be some guidance. Maybe there will be an answer that comes from within, whatever is your belief system. But if you ask and you wait, there will be some answers. There will be some
mhm.
guidance. Always, always, always.
Yeah.
But I was far from there at that time. I'm just at that point kind of going, oh my God, I think I'm going to self implode. Plus, there's always in the back of my mind, if I
What did
am
I
not,
do?
yeah, and if I'm not careful, will I also become crazy myself? Well,
Right.
with history of mental illness, I'm thinking,
Yeah.
if I'm not starting to heal a little bit, maybe this is next on my path.
Wow.
I was not that, so full of ego to think that this was beyond
Yeah.
me, right?
Yeah. Because you grew up with it. You grew up watching your mom
Yes.
struggle with it. And so, of course, you would think, I might be next.
Yes.
That's terrifying too.
Totally. And at the time of the crisis, I had lost a brother to suicide who also had struggled, right? So uh, our family was definitely like it was on top of your skin. You could
Mhm.
really feel it. So it was a great motivator. When people say, "Oh my God, you were so courageous," I go, "I was not courageous.
I
I
had
was
to do something desperate.
motivated by fear."
Yeah. Wow.
But
Wow.
then you become motivated by love, and you become motivated by possibility, and uh,
Yes.
that's where the juice is. But you got to start, you got to walk before you're running, right? So
Right. You gotta crawl. You gotta, yeah. You gotta scoot. If you want to scoot your, your little tush before you can crawl,
exactly.
you gotta do all the things to get out. Baby
Exactly.
steps, baby steps. And then, and so Because then you started doing endurance training and stuff, and that's when you become audacious. That's when you step
Yes.
out and really start being bold.
This is the biggest gift that the universe gave me. Is one day I got an email out of nowhere. In Canada, it must have been minus 20. And they said, we're hosting this potluck. And we're gonna be talking about this marathon that we're thinking of, organizing. Come and listen. And I thought, I got nothing else to do that night. It's cold, but this will be fun. And I
Mhm.
signed that night. I signed up. I said, I'm in. And that had never run more than probably 5, 6K, not much, 20 minutes. And it saved me.
Mm.
It saved me.
Wow.
Because when you're running long distance, you cannot escape from yourself.
That's right. It's you, only you, and your thoughts.
Yes, right? So when I always say when the sun is shining, it's great. Everybody's there, everybody's happy. When the clouds move in, and they will move in, that's when you start, when anything that is in you, talked about that, you push the crap in that,
Mhm.
in that garbage. Well, the garbage starts to overflow. And when the clouds come in, they bring all your insecurities, all your issues,
Mhm.
all your stuff that you haven't dealt with. It comes up
Mm.
because you'll be there and you'll go, why am I here? I'm not good. I can't do this. This is too hard. I should have never decided to do this. Who do I think I am? Every single issue you may have, it comes out. Right? Which is why sometimes you stop on the side of the road, you feel sorry for yourself for a couple minutes, and then you pick yourself up and you go, okay, I'm done with that. Let's go.
Let's keep going. You have your little pity party. You put your little party hat on. And then,
Yes. Oh, poor me. It's not
woe is
going
me.
well.
Woe is me. I'm last. I'm in last place. Yeah.
Exactly. But it
Yeah.
was a revelation.
Mm.
It was a revelation to discover what I was made of, because I had no
Mm.
idea that I had this kind of determination.
Oh, wow. I love that so much because there's so many strengths inside of us that we don't take the time to learn or dig deep enough to discover. And I did an interview yesterday. I was being interviewed on a podcast, and I talked about the alter ego and building an alter ego for yourself. And one of the benefits of building an alter ego, because I do that with my clients sometimes, one of the benefits is that it really helps reveal hidden talents, hidden strengths, hidden endurances, hidden things about yourself that you never knew was even in there until you step out to do it. And so it's so amazing. I love stepping out and doing things that I've never done before. I even told you, I did a pageant at 50
Yes.
because I never done one before. I'd been invited to do them several times in my life, but I didn't have the confidence. I felt like, who, me? All the insecurities. Who, me? Why me? And no way. There's no way I would ever. And again, that opportunity was in my life for 2 years. They kept asking me, and I kept saying no. And then finally, I asked myself, why do you keep saying no? Because it keeps coming back to you. So why don't you just say yes? you know?
Love it.
So, so even stepping out and doing something, we have so many opportunities to do different things in our life, and we always say no to it because of fear
Yes.
and insecurity. So
And
you
all
do
the
it, you fail. Big deal.
Yes. And all these stories that others told you that
You couldn't.
you've made yours, right? You
Hmm.
adopted their insecurities or their belief system. Oh, well, you're not very talented at for me, right? It was like, oh, you're not that talented at sports. Who do you think you are, right?
You
You're
got
gonna
two
do a
left feet.
marathon?
You can, you got two left feet and wobbly
Yeah.
knees.
Like
You
I'm
can run.
quite tall, right? So I'm not exactly the perfect model for the skinny little thing that is supposed to be running. It's like all these things that we make up. It's like this is
Yeah.
all invented, right?
Yep.
It's
Not
all
reality.
invented.
Hmm.
So you say no because you're like, well, I'm not this and I'm too
You look
that.
at
And
all the things you're not instead of, well, what do I have to bring? And that do actually sign up for that pageant forced me to think of all the things that I have
ooh, I love that.
instead of what I don't. Because I had to show up, you know, I had to show up and I had to show up powerfully. I couldn't show up as, I don't deserve this. I don't belong
Oh,
here.
meek.
Yeah, I couldn't show up like and expect to win. No. So,
Amazing.
so you're doing these marathons. Tell us about Vive.
Mm. Well, a little bit before Vive, what happened that was really critical is I loved running in that community so much. And I was part of a women's running group.
Mhm.
They asked me to coach. And then again, right, when you ask the universe, start to send me some things, I would have never thought the universe was going to send me that opportunity. But it did. And I discovered that it was the thing that I did in my life that gave me the most joy I had ever experienced.
Mm,
I realized I loved supporting other women. I did
yeah.
not know that. I had been a loner because I had, this wall. I was so afraid. So I didn't have deep relationships with women. And suddenly I was coaching, hundreds of women. Um, I realized that I also love to show people what they were able to do.
Mm,
I love that. And so many times I will tell you, because I coach many women to do their first marathon. And at the beginning, they'd be like, yeah, but Annie, how can you be so sure that I'm going to be able to do that? And I used to say, you show up every Saturday and Tuesday, because we had those 2 training sessions together. And unless there's an injury, God forbid something really massive, I will welcome you into my arms at the end of that marathon. I promise you that. If you
mm,
show up and do the work, I
you
will
will
get
do
you
it.
there.
Mm,
100%. 100% of the time. And that's exactly what would happen. They would fall into my arms at the end of the marathon saying, oh my God,
I
thank
didn't know I
you.
could do this. Thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if I look at what this world is all about today, we're really fast about putting people down, not understanding where they've come from, and instead of building them up, we tear them down.
Mhm.
And so when I launched my next business, um, it was all about empowering women and showing them what is possible. Now,
Mm,
in the middle, I went back to school, got my degree as a nutritionist, and really saw the need for women at midlife
mhm.
and beyond to really reset their health, because this is a big time of transition, as we all
Oh, yeah.
know, right?
Yes.
And we've got the party that menopause can be, and every color under the sun. So, a very, very intense time for health and wellness opportunity. But
Mhm.
boy, when you seize it, it's phenomenal.
Yeah. Wow.
Phenomenal.
I love it. I love it. So listen, I put how you can connect with Annie in the on the banner. So connect with her on Facebook. It's at vive.ca, and on Instagram it's at vive_wellness. And you can also check out their website. It's vive.ca, VEEV. And I asked Annie, what does Vive mean? You can share.
Yeah, so it's a little bit to my background as a French woman, but it's really because of joie de vivre. So the whole
Joy
intent,
of life. Right.
yes, seizing life, because I've seen my life only getting better as I get
Mhm.
older.
Mhm.
And I know that this is possible for all women. So I wanted a name that really expressed those values.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love it. And your mental health now, as you're running and doing all these things and coaching and really taking care of yourself, the possibility of the mental illness that your mother had is not your reality anymore.
Not at all. Not at all. I I honestly never think about it.
Mm,
What I always try to focus on is how do I make sure that, I am a healthy, I have a healthy heart, my mind, my body. But I'm also not obsessed, because I think that that's also important, right? We don't want
mhm.
to fall into that obsession.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but really about enjoying my life and being a good example for those around me. And I never, never worry about the mental health
That's
part.
awesome. That's beautiful because, so many people, when a parent struggled with mental health, they feel like this is a dark cloud over their life for the rest of their life. And like you said, you took action. You said, this is not going to be my reality. We're going to cancel, alt, delete, and, and create a
Exactly.
new reality moving forward. So tell me about your very first marathon, what
Oh,
that was like. Did you think you might die?
it was magical. It was an amazing race. But your first, you are petrified, right?
Yeah.
You are so, so worried. And my first was 2004 Marine Corps Marathon in Washington, D.C. Ladies, if you are listening, it's like the best because you've got all those Marines lined up and they are at your service. They serve you your water and they help you. They give you your medal at the end. It's phenomenal.
The best.
It is incredible. They are the finest. Um, but it shows. Here's a quick little story to show you how I was a beginner still after all those months of training. The morning of, it's very early, of course,
Mhm.
and we set out to go get the subway. And I turned to somebody and I said, "Oh my God, we're so lucky! It's nice and warm." And that should have been the first thing. That at 5:30 a.m., if it's
It's
warm at
warm.
5:30 a.m., imagine how warm it's going to be. So
By
it
noon.
was it was crushingly hot, and it was incredible. And I still remember many points of the race that
Mm.
were highs and also lows. It took me longer than I thought. And, the ego gets in the way. The ego
Mhm.
will go, "Oh my God, well, look at that. Yeah, you're slow, la, la, la." And then at the end, you cross the finish line and you get the medal and you go, look at what I have just accomplished.
What I just did. Yeah.
Yeah, it was my first, and I have still many garments from that race, and I wear them proudly because I really believe it transformed my life. It gave me
Mm.
an opportunity to be able to serve others now, to show women that
It's
the best is
possible.
yet to come.
And you said you're the
100%.
fittest you've ever been in your life. Even
Yes.
you're
After all
stronger.
those marathons, I did
Mhm.
Ironman, triathlons. I'm now in the gym a lot, which I never did before. I absolutely love it because motion is critical for emotion, right?
Mm.
It's
Love it.
really, really critical. And for healthy emotions, you really want to move, you really want to use your body. And it's not about fitting into one mold,
Yeah.
it's just be
It's
strong.
about strength, building strength.
Yes, totally. And
Wow.
I'll tell one small anecdote. At the end of one of our marathon training, and we had everybody come and celebrate their marathon accomplishment, we asked two or three to come and share their experience. And
Mhm.
this is to show the power of transformation. This woman, who was probably about 50, came on the stage and said, "I have been a bookkeeper for a long, long time. And after the marathon, for the first time, I had the courage to increase my rate." This marathon for her was so transformative that it gave her
Wow.
the confidence to stand up for herself. And
Wow.
I promise you, I have seen versions of this over and over and over again. It
Powerful.
really changes. Yes, it changes you inside out.
Nice. I love it. Oh, wow. So, anyone who is interested in marathon running and transforming your life through marathons, I would suggest you contact Annie. There is her Facebook profile and her Instagram. Go ahead and, DM her and say you saw her on the show and you want to learn about getting strong, getting healthy, and running, learning to run a marathon. It's not on my bucket list, but maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I run, but I run for short periods of time because um, I don't know that I have the time to train for a marathon, or I don't want to make the time to train for a marathon. I probably have the time to train. I don't want to make the time to train.
Very fair. And full disclosure, I help people that are doing many, many different things
Yeah,
with the nutrition and the activity, marathoning. It's just a
that's
little.
just a little portion of what you
Yes,
do. Yes, of course,
that's
with full
right.
functional coaching, health and wellness, business. But yeah, but I love this so much because you just never know until you try. You just never know what you can do or the impact that you can have on another person until you step out of your own comfort zone. You said something earlier about um, you never thought you could influence people. You never thought that you can, you know, be that person. And that is amazing because it takes it takes awareness and it takes time to really decide who you want to be. Who am I being in this moment, and who is the future me? Am I just going to stay here stuck all the time feeling sorry for myself, or am I going to do something that matters to other people, that matters? And that's what you did, and I love it. Love, love, love it so much. Thank you so much for reaching out to us
Thank
and being
you.
on the
Thank
show.
you. It's just such an honor to be with you and to get to know you and another fierce woman. We are a powerful community, but I also know that this is what other women need.
Yes,
So
yes.
using our voices to amplify and lift each other up.
And I love that, the show is called Love My Body, Love Myself. And that's exactly what you did. You transformed yourself to love yourself. And then you found how your body could be strong, could be an ally for you, and loving the body that you have that's carrying you through these endurance opportunities, showing you how strong. It's like your body is showing you how much it loves you back.
Yes.
Really,
Yes.
it's really
Yes.
showing
So
you
true.
it's love. It's love for you. So I love that so much. Have I said the word love enough during this message? I don't know. Maybe we should say it a couple more times. So what's next for you, Annie? What is next on your horizon?
There's a book coming out in the fall, late fall, beginning of winter, all about supporting women and midlife. So if you're interested in that as well, come to the website and just get on the list, and we'll make sure that you receive that.
And when the
Really
book comes out, let's bring you back on to talk about it.
fabulous, you've got it. So that's the next big thing, and then supporting women at a bigger scale. Right at this point, this is it. Like I just
Mhm.
need to like step up. That's why we're doing the book, speaking, and just empowering more women, because I think that, as you mentioned before, we definitely are at a crossroad as a society where we can, I think, really support women in a greater way, and that's where I am heading.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. So, again, go to the website. It is vive.ca, VEEV.ca for joie de vivre, just in case you forget, joy of life. And to connect with Annie, make sure you go and connect with her on Facebook, vive.ca, and Instagram. Send her a DM at vive_wellness. Thank you so much for being a guest with us today, Annie. I really appreciate you jumping on.
My pleasure. Thank you for your beautiful generosity of time and spirit in sharing your platform.
You're very welcome. Don't go anywhere. So, what a wonderful, wonderful show. If you're watching this on the replay, make sure to comment. Send us your comments. Send us what you think about it, what inspired you, what maybe even what you've been going through. Share it with us in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Again, you can even come to our Facebook group and share in that Facebook group. It's facebook.com/groups/LMBLM. And just a quick note on the show. So this show is coming to a close. The season is coming to a close. We've run it for 1 full year. Every single Wednesday, I was here with you. And so, and the mid-September will be our last show we'll take a little break and then we'll be back with the show. It's not going away completely, but it's making room for our podcast, which is Leading with Audacious Confidence. But have no fear, every Monday, I am on winwinwomen.tv. So you can join me on winwinwomen.tv for Unleash Your Audacious Confidence, Mondays at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want to be a guest on that show, I actually, Annie, we're going to invite you to be on that show too. You can be a guest. Just email us support@aliciacouri.com if you want to be a guest on Win Win Women, on Unleash Your Audacious Confidence on Win Win Women. And we also have Small Business Saturday Shout Out. So we have that show on Saturdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, the first and third Saturday of the month. So if you have a business and you want to shout out your business, the great thing about that show is after we do our interview, you have access to that interview as a download so that you can promote parts of it, the whole thing, yourself with your audience. So we're not giving you a link for them to come to my platform and watch it. You have the opportunity to have that show as a full download that's edited with a bumper, with an intro and outro. And you have an opportunity to have that for yourself. So you can use it in a speaking reel. You can use it for whatever promotion that you want to for your business. So Small Business Saturday Shout Out, we have that. And we also have a Facebook group there where you can promote yourself and promote your business. It's facebook.com/groups/SBSSO. So that's it for me on this episode of Love My Body, Love Myself. Next week, we're going to have another fantastic guest on the show. So I want you to make sure that you come back with us Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time for the show. And I'm going to encourage you, as I do every show, to take some time to do something this week, even if it's just one thing this week, to prove to yourself that you love your body and you love yourself. And just like Annie did, her body is proving how much it loves her back. So do something for your body, do something for yourself to show that you love your body and you love yourself. And I will see you next time. Take care, everybody.